Chris.
We can't all be cool.
Probably.
All right, everyone. How's everyone doing? We're gonna get back up and running. I thought it'd be fun for the beginning of our workshop section to actually just run you through kind of a basic Linklater warm-up, how you actually warm up your breath and your voice. I can guarantee that it'll be really silly, but it'll also be really useful. So we'll probably have to have everyone stand up and make a little bit of room, kind of move some tables around.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Go to the left, right.
Scoop this. Maybe push that one in there.
There's a microphone on there. That's too far.
So you're going to want enough room to be able to bend down in front of you. So make sure that you have a little bit of room in front of you.
There you go. Get out of your chair. There you go. Step on this chair. Perfect. Okay. Look, they said it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone ready? Great. So the first thing you want to do is just get your body into a really natural kind of position. What that means is balance your weight kind of on both of your feet. Put your feet about shoulder length apart. Angled out a tiny bit or straight forward, whatever feels more natural or comfortable. Make sure your hips are kind of placed squarely over your feet. Make sure your chest and your upper body is placed squarely over your hips. Make sure your shoulders are down and relaxed. Make sure you're not tensing up. Make sure your arms are loose. Make sure your neck is sitting perfectly on top of your head and your head on top of your neck. What you want to try to imagine is a thread coming right out of the tip top of your head and coming right out of your butthole. Just kind of like perfectly keeping you straight all the way throughout your body. So let that go. Take a big deep breath in. Into your stomach, remember, let it out. Good, good. Shake your body out a little bit. Get everything loose, loosey-goosey. Shake your arms, shake your lips out, shove them up and down a little bit. Get all that in your body. Release all that tension. Good, good. Okay, all right, here we go. Now reach up as high as you can, straight to the stars. Every part of your body is pointing straight up. Your fingers, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your chest is up. Everything, you're on your tippy toes. You're reaching as high as you can go up, and then you let your fingers drop. Just your fingers, everything else is still shooting as high up as it can, fully devoted to reaching towards the stars. And then your hands go down, but everything else, wrists and all, pointed straight upward, and then down at your elbows. Your elbows are still pointing all up. Your entire rest of your body is completely bent on getting above this roof right here. And then down, but your shoulders are still up. Your head is still pointed forward. And you drop your shoulders, but your chest, your legs, everything else still fully flexing towards the sky. And then just let the whole thing collapse on down in front of you. Really let it go. Take a big breath in, and as you release it, see if you can let yourself sink just a little bit lower. One more time, big breath in, see if you can go down just a tiny bit more. Now try to take a breath and breathe right into the back, right on your small of your back, kind of below your ribs. See if you can really expand that area. Let your lips hang. Let your face go loose. Now slowly and deliberately, bring yourself up, stacking one vertebrae at a time along your spine. See if you can actually visualize the point along your spine that is getting straighter and straighter as you move your way up. Take your time. Remember to breathe. Keep coming up. Keep your head down, and keep rising until the last 7 vertebrae in your neck simply stack right on top of each other, and you're back to a full standing position. Good. Now, some more breath. Take another big breath right down into your stomach. Really see if you can focus on your stomach, opening up as you're doing that, and let it out. One more. Now this time, after you take a breath in, when you let it out, you're going to make just a simple touch of sound. It is the lightest, easiest noise that your body can make. It's going to sound a little bit something like this. Really like to have it just come out whenever it does in your exhalation. Take a big breath in, and then out, and just a light touch of sound. One more of those. Just your vocal cords, like, there you are. Like, take another big breath in. Now try to do 2 of those. Okay, we'll let that full breath out as well as in. Now this time, when you let your breath out, as you go ha-ha, go into an afterwards and see if you can hold that note. It's going to sound something like this. See if you can really feel that vibration right on your lips there. And then let it go just at the end of your breath. Take a big breath in, do that, and see if you can move that vibration around your face. See if you can really feel the different parts of your face vibrating as you move your lips around. Do that one more time. And this time do the same thing, except let a really good out right at the end of it. It's going to sound like Really feel it build up until you just can't hold it in anymore, and then it's just like, it all comes out right in that moment. Oh yeah, feel the tension rising. Good, good. Give your face a little massage. See if you can rub your nose, rub your cheeks, rub down here. A really good one is just warming your hands up like this and just pull it right down your jaw, just like that, along the line of your jaw muscles, from your ear down to your chin, just like this. Really stretch it out. Feel yourself loosening up those muscles. Get your hands nice and warm. We hold a lot of tension in our jaws. Our jaws is a really easy place for people to put a lot of stress into, so it's a good thing to warm up. Forehead, get that going a little bit. Just try to make as big of a face as possible. Call your lion face. Just go down to the tiniest face you can make. Your lemon face. Back into your lion face. Your eyes are huge. Your forehead down into your lemon face. Good. Good.
Oh yeah.
Take your hands like this and hold on to your jaw. This is a really tricky one. What you want to try to do is to move your jaw up and down without using your jaw muscles at all. All you're trying to use are your hands. Your head really wants to take control and do this one. But see if you can lightly shake your jaw and feel yourself loosening it out. It's really difficult. I can't even do it after years of not doing it. It's a really good test to see if your jaw is loose. It's real hard. Your head really wants to hold on to that. Try to make some noise. That often helps. You shake kind of rapidly. Another good one is to clasp your hands in front of you like this and try to do the same thing. Make some noise and use your fist to shake your body. So that's really good. Loosening up your jaws is really tough, but it's great for opening up your face. Good. Now to warm up some of our different resonators. The first thing you want to think about is your chest resonator. Feel yourself as you're making different noises, how that's vibrating in your chest. Your like oohs and ahs, a lot of that is coming out of your chest resonator. So see if you can start facing straight forward. Imagine breath coming out of your stomach and going straight up a single perfectly aligned stack, chimney stack, up all the way up into your throat and then out of your mouth. See if you can really imagine that voice, that sound generating from the pit of your stomach, not from your chest, not from your throat. See if you can actually feel like it's rising up out of you. Now start with your head down like this, and what you want to do is you want to try to still make that kind of pure sound, and as you move your head up and all the way up, ideally that tonation will actually change without you doing anything, just based on the different position of your head. So start facing down, try to just let the voice just fall out of you, and slowly move your head all the way up. And then back down. You're trying to move from like an E to an ah as you kind of get all the way up. Just the goal in that one. Taking some just like big breaths in. Try to actually stretch your ribs out. See if you can focus breath coming in just to your left side. And see if you can feel the space between your ribs opening up. Let that go. One more time, right to that left side. And let that go. Do the same thing for your right. Put your thumb on one of your nostrils here. We're going to try to warm up some of our sinuses now. What you want to do is take 6 quick breaths in and then 1 big breath out from your mouth. So. Do the same thing for the other side. These ones are going to sound crazier than the other ones, but to warm up your nasal resonators, you want to make those really nasal noises like me. Your thumbs just right here, right on the where you're kind of like the bone ends on your nose there, and go me 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 me. See if you can feel it vibrating right on the thumbs. Me 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 my that's going to help a lot with those nasal resonators. This is a really good one to get your skull resonator going. This is going to be really loud. I can do it if anyone feels like doing it, you're welcome to. Basically, you can go, that's really your skull resonator way up the top there. That's how you can warm that up. Your heart and your different parts of your mouth. That's a lot of those clicking sounds like K's. Try to really feel where that is being resonated from, where that noise is originating. It's right in the middle of your heart path there. Yeah, a lot of that's going to be really good for warming that up. Before we move into some of the mouth stuff, a really great one just to do all your resonators from top to bottom. If you just got like 1 minute, just try to move all the way up your entire vocal range from bottom to top, feeling free to take breaths at any point. And then back the way down. It's called like a voice elevator. It's just a good go-to. If you don't remember any of the rest of this, this is just like one thing you can do to help you warm up. So just start at the bottom. You guys can all do it with me. Good ways to warm your tongue up. Try putting the tip of your tongue right at the back of your bottom teeth, and then stretching the middle of your tongue out like this.
Tongue push-ups.
Tongue push-ups, yeah, back and forth. That's going to really help get your tongue working, get it stronger, whip that thing into shape.
They're really staring at me the whole time. It's okay.
You can help improve the precision of your tongue just by actually touching different parts, like middle and left and then right, just over and over again. Just sticking your tongue out as far as you can, and then back in, and then out. Really helping that get warmed up. That's all going to be really good. Good, great. And then after you do all that is when you start moving into the diction stuff and the tongue twisters and working on the actual pronunciation of words. I'll teach you all just a quick tongue twister. It's one of my favorites. I said a little part of it earlier. It goes, to sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block. It's a really fun one. So we'll just do the first part for now. To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
Sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
In a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
In a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock.
Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock.
From a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block.
From a cheap and chippy chopper on a big black block.
So remember, hit those beginnings of words, hit the ends, don't ignore the consonants, those are also really important. Let's just try saying the beginning part a little faster. To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
Okay, great. I won't make you guys go any further than that. But a lot of that right there is really just great for warming your voice up, for getting your breath into the right part of your body, for warming your body up too. You can do more physical stretches, anything that you know is going to be great for you. Any stretches are definitely going to help you out. Any like vocal work, the best thing to do once you pass the tongue twister stage in terms of dictation is to actually just take like things that you're going to be saying, like actual words from your speech, actual things you're going to be presenting, and use those for tongue twisters. Like say those and try to work on the pronunciation with the real material that you're going to be working with. Like I said, this is also called the Linklater method. It's a Linklater warm-up, Kristen Linklater. The book is called Freeing the Natural Voice. There's definitely other methods that all have their own way of helping you warm up and everything. But yeah, really, really fun stuff too, if you ever feel like delving into it a little deeper. Great. And I think what we wanted to do for the second part was just to help people with like pitches. If you guys, I'm sure like when people ask you about kind of what you're doing or what your business is, you give them that same pitch that you've said to like 100 people before. So it's a great thing to think a little bit more about how you're actually presenting and kind of try to optimize to be able to clearly get across. Does anyone have like just like something they say over and over to people when they get asked about what they do? Yeah. This is
chocolate in the right pocket.
oh, chocolate in my right pocket. Let's learn to use my now.
Chocolate on your right pocket.
Great. Burke, why don't you stand up and tell people who you are?
Okay, my name's Burke, and I make balloon animals and creations for birthday parties, corporate events, and carnivals.
Great. Is that your kind of flag spiel right there?
Yeah, that's my spiel.
Great. So a little bit shorter. You can already tell in his spiel there's things like lists that he's giving off, the different places that you do balloon animals for. You did a good job there of like keeping a good intonation and not dropping them all at the end. I mean, if you can kind of like play with it, I guess, and think about who you're trying to pitch it to, and figure out which one you want to emphasize.
Yeah.
If it's like a mother, then maybe you want to be like, yeah, birthday parties and like this and that. So you can definitely kind of specialize it for each person. Do you have do something about your magic as well that you tell people?
Not at the current juncture, no. I'm just focusing on balloons.
Do you get asked like certain questions all the time?
People will ask me what my rate is. It's on my website, but yeah, that's a frequent question. And then, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Stuff like that is really helpful too. Like, if you have like a long list of different prices or different hours or something like that, that's a really good thing to sit down and think about, like how you're presenting. just because it is like a solid chunk of detailed information. When someone's like, how much does it cost? We're like, okay, we're like, 4 packs of cards cost this much and this and that. So that's like an especially good area to kind of think about really paying attention to how you're presenting that information. Nice. What else? Do you have another spiel? Does anyone else have anything they like say to people all the time?
Yeah, good. I gotta head out to my soccer game in just a minute. But so yeah, if somebody just met me and like asked what I do, or maybe I'm meeting with someone who's interested in my product, I would say like something like, I'm Brad and I'm a beekeeper here in Southeast Portland, and I keep me and my girlfriend keep bees in our yard, and then we use products from our beehives to make lip balm. It's called Portland Bee Balm, and we use beeswax and honey from our hives. We also use products from other beekeepers in the Portland area. Beekeeper on Savi Island is on an organic farm, and we use those products to make Portland Bee Balm, and try to keep everything as local as possible. We had a label art done by local artists, get it printed at the local print shop, and yeah, I think it looks good. So out there, I don't know, I might have something more specific if I knew who I was talking to, but that's kind of like how I kind of emphasize like I'm like a beekeeper first, and then I'm making a product and trying to sell them something like second. I really like being a beekeeper. I think it has a lot of good connotations. And, yeah.
Great. That was awesome. Some things I noticed right off the top of my head were just the one sentence where you were talking about keeping bees. You really hit the word keep, but it sounds like you're really excited about the fact that they're like in your yard. So I want to think about like keep bees in like our yard. Kind of refocus like the message you're trying to get across there. Did anyone else notice anything like off the top of their head?
You kind of trailed off when you kept saying the name of your product. I don't know if it was kind of self-effacement or whatever, but you really want to hit the name of your product really loud and clear, I would think. Thanks. I kind of just noticed each time you were about to hit the name of your product, kind of trailed off a little bit.
Yeah, interesting. I find too with like short little pitches, like kind of like you said with the clauses or the parentheticals. That's a lot of like what I end up hitting when I'm talking about float on, and like even just like the huge list of benefits or something like that. Like obviously the local thing is really important, with like even local printing, like the fact that you have the hives in your backyard and things like that. So that's a really good part to put like the emphasis on that, and then kind of like go into that little lull of parentheticals. I think even of like, yeah, we do everything 100% local. Like our printing, we do like we keep bees in our backyard. We train with these local people. We're all about like the quality, it's like you emphasize like our kind of like even yeah, exactly. And it's almost like you're sharing a little secret then too. It's like, here's my like big pitch, and like just between you and I, it's like that means we like the printing, like everything is local. You know what I mean? Like kind of similar. It's like So that was my nice. Yeah,
that's great. And the more you can think about it, like a structured like bullet point where things are coming down like that in your head, like the easier it'll be to convey that like organization out to people as well.
So one thing that I think was great too was just like the kind of casual nature of it, even like trailing out at the end, being like, yeah, I think being a beekeeper is great. So most of the pitches that you do with people are like conversations with other human beings, and the more that you're actually human, it's not like you're trying to craft this like 1 minute monologue that you're going to deliver on stage that determines whether you get like cast into play or something. It's like your ability to engage people and just relate to them as human beings is just as important. So like as far as that goes, like nailed it. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Does anyone else have like a...
We actually gotta go. I got a softball game too.
Nice. Softball game too.
Yeah, 2 of them. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. Awesome. Even like long-winded questions or something that you always have to answer about anything?
My friends and I just opened up a production company. Over the past year, we have been throwing parties and have been very successful at them. We have a very strong fan following. We have gotten very good at having fun and making sure that everybody who attends our events has a lot of fun in a very healthy, sustainable manner. And we would like to go professional. We are looking at different venues around town to rent out different bars, clubs, warehouses, eventually go large scale and have our own outdoor festivals, barn parties and such. So right now we're working on finding various artists around town live music, electronic music, and eventually the professional party throwers. And we also have a record label on the side.
Awesome. That was great. Were you, did you feel like you were focusing a lot on your speech when you were giving that? Did you feel like you were focusing a lot on like your inflection and speech as you were giving that?
No.
Great. That's perfect. You did a really good job of keeping the inflection up at the end of most of the things you were saying to kind of help carry people along. Did anyone else notice anything before I say a couple things?
It unfolded pretty well. I think it was there was a general introductory statement, but I want to get something else behind it that sort of painted the picture pretty well. So that was good. I mean, there was like an introduction followed by support.
Yeah, it was great. I'd say even think about some moments to use that downward inflection to really like nail some things home. There were some points I think when you were saying like we had a lot of success, and then you went to a whole other thing. Like that's a great moment to just like drill that in. Like yeah, we've had a lot of success. Like period. Like think about that for a second. So you can go through and kind of like figure out where you want to split it up into like little kernels, you know, and really play with that. But other than that, it was great. Yeah, it really like held my attention all the way across.
It wasn't until just a moment ago that I noticed I actually have been giving the same pitch over and over for the past couple of weeks. We're still a baby, but I find myself giving the same pitch over and over because I'll be talking about this idea and I'll explain the idea in a similar way. And now that I realize I am doing that, I actually want to go write it down, organize it, and make an actual spiel as opposed to just rambling on about an idea. So probably something I'm going to continue to do.
Definitely. I mean, you did
bring that to my attention.
Yeah, you did have a lot of lists too, which is great. Make sure to not let all those kind of hit that same like intonation or monotone level. Otherwise, they become a little hard to like separate in your ear as you're listing them out. Even ending with kind of an upward inflation on a list like sounds really weird sometimes, so you can do it where it just kind of makes you feel like there's more, like I don't have time to mention right now.
Right.
Another really good way we found with talking about floating with people, just because there's so much to tell people when you have to tell them about float tanks, is kind of structuring your pitch to like entice their curiosity. So like instead of being like, okay, I need to get all this information out to you, like see if you can do things that is going to make them ask you for the rest of the information. That's like super useful. It doesn't feel like you're trying to like bombard them or sell them on something. Like, you know, it raises their curiosity, gets them interacting with like your pitch, you know. So think about stuff like that is really good. Sweet.
Let's say the only thing I could add to that would be like give an example of something you've done. So instead of just like listing ideas that your product is about, like if you're saying like we like to have fun, and then this is an example of something fun that we did, and then closing that probably entertains somebody's mind about wow, I like going to parties, I like having fun, and sometimes it's it's a little wild and crazy, but we do it in a sense that it's sustainable, you said, or something like that.
Right. Yeah, you're kind of taking them on a little storybook.
Yeah, that was the best part.
It's a tale of them, so that's kind of cool. They can kind of even imagine what it's like and then picture themselves in that scenario, given the proper narration and the follow through. I mean, you are the narrator to this imaginary reality that is your business, storyteller. And I think that you could probably create an image in their head pretty easily with some of the right keywords. They're a little descriptive, maybe a little bit more, I don't know, fantasy type. You might even describe like what time of day, just like set the picture a little bit, just so they get that visualization in their head. It sounds like a cool place to be. I'd like to know more about it. Like, you could probably go out on a limb with that one. I bet no one would be like, hey, what are you talking about? You're whisking me away here on this imagination. Maybe we'll be up there with it.
I want to know more.
Yeah.
We're happy to have more information and a good example about what it is, what the product you're selling. Because essentially what I'm saying is I've found a formula for fun, put my brand name on it, and I'm selling my brand of fun.
Nice.
And it'd be nicer to explain what that brand is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Just having explain what the product itself is.
Yeah, details are always good. That's actually the case, like even in things like selling your house on the market. Like if you say like newly refurbished kitchen, it doesn't sell for, it sells like on average I think $10,000 less than if you put things like new granite countertops or like industrial gas range stove, and like the details always like just actually bump up the value of it.
Something tangible.
Yeah, exactly.
Another like trick from Shakespeare in terms of dealing with long lists, if you need to do those, you kind of have like 3 tools at your disposal, which is pitch, pace, and volume. Those are the real 3 things that you kind of alter to add a little like to make your list dynamic. Of which for like natural speech, probably like pitch is the most useful, and then pace, and then kind of volume down there at the bottom. But when you are saying lists, instead of doing the same thing with each one, you could think about just raising your pitch each time. But yeah, like we do, birthday parties and events, and like boat tours and concerts, and like you kind of ramp it up like that. So yeah, you can think of the overarching like line across your entire list as well as places to like play with intonation.
Yeah, that's what like I pay attention to a lot of the comedians based on their timing. You look at like Christopher Walken. No matter what he says, it's like it's entertainment. It's like pure entertainment, and it's just the way he says things.
You look at Christopher Walken.
Not sure.
He gets into the delivery.
Yeah, he just like lets you wait for it as long as you want.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop delivering to you.
It's great too. If you find yourself like delivering the same thing over and over again, like Ashkahn said, it's a really great chance to just practice the art of delivering something. Like once you realize you're saying the same thing over and over again, like at least for me, I just get bored. Right? It's like saying the same thing over and over again. Then I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to like entertain myself? And that's like actually where I end up practicing a lot of my speech and a lot of my vocal skills. It's just like we have the benefit of every single time we check a new person into the float space, we have to give the little like, here's what a float tank is, like here's where your earplugs are, here's how you take a shower. And like, yeah, that is just an awesome chance to like perfect the art of like engaging people.
You don't get despondent in that.
It's really useful too. Like I particularly in my introduction speech, like when there's like vinegar you're supposed to put in like after you come out of the float tank, I'll hit that word after, like very deliberately, so they didn't know what to do, like make sure I know words are sinking in. I'm like, yeah, you want to put this in your ears after you get out. Like you can really use these tools to like get under people's kind of conscious like understanding of things.
Totally. Yeah, after delivering something for the same time too, like you'll notice yourself start to like space out, which is like the worst. Like you're not paying attention to what you're saying, and like guaranteed they aren't. Like I'll like tune back in after like 5 seconds of being in some other van, and like their guys are just like glossed over. I'm like, okay, how do I get this back? I'm like, all right, guys. And the next step is,
yeah. I find that I end up like kind of trailing out of my own work when like somebody's asking something while I'm doing the work. Like I'm in the middle of actually doing some kind of production, and they're asking me questions about what I do. And I just words just come out. And then a little later, I realized, like, where did you just tell that?
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's like never a good sign. Yeah. I try to like focus really hard on the other person. It's like my own little like personal like hack around that one. Like instead of focusing on what I'm saying or trying to get something across, it's just like focusing on the other person's attention. Yeah. And like making sure that that's there and like that's taking up like the full amount of your brain capacity helps a lot.
I find like that comes from like we were saying earlier, like eye contact. It's like if I'm running around, I'm not actually making eye contact. I think cheers. See you guys. If I'm not making eye contact, I don't feel like I'm actually engaging the person. It's like if I'm busy doing this, I'm like, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then I turn around and realize like they walked off and I don't know what I said to them, and hopefully it was good. But yeah, that's an important thing, is just to engage somebody, is to give them that one-on-one time.
Awesome. Well, maybe we should just call it a wrap-up for now. Yeah, and then there's one other thing, too, that I wanted to, I'd completely meant to mention it at the end of the actual talking portion and forgotten. Just, like, using your diaphragm, too, for, like, breathing. And kind of, like, focusing on your stomach. It's the same place you're supposed to speak from as well when you're actually, like, trying to increase your volume. As opposed to, like, I don't know, most times when we yell or shout, even at like concerts or something, and we're like screaming, we're like increasing our volume from our chest again, or even like from our, I was gonna say from our throat is like the crazy part. And like the like sore throat or like losing your voice that you get is like actually just your vocal cords like bleeding and causing like just being like in pain, which you don't get when you talk from your diaphragm because like all of the booming is coming from here. So just in terms of like actual like physical harm that you're doing to like your voice and your body, like speaking through the diaphragm is really like, I don't know, just like when I learned the hangovers, you're like literally your skull separating from your brain because it's dehydrated. Like that's what the headache is. Like I was just like, note to self, drink water. Same thing. I was like, oh, that sore throat after screaming too hard is actually just my vocal cords bleeding. I was like, okay, I guess I better watch that one.
Yeah. And you can seriously, I mean, you can just be like, this is me speaking from down my diaphragm, and like this is me speaking from my throat. Like you can really like tell where you're trying to generate noise from. It's very easy. Once you kind of like recognize those parts of your body.
Totally. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for a great cake, and thanks Ashkahn for giving the speech and speaking.
Nice topic to present on.
Yeah. And we're probably going to hang out for a little bit longer and do some work/general business chatting. So if you guys feel like grabbing a beer and talking about anything, we'll be around.